Ever been stranded? Check it out. Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Darren. Hey, I'm going to talk to you right now about, we're in the moment. Somebody just called me and said, hey, has this ever happened to you? And they were out in the Midwest, actually Midwest, and then somebody else asked me the other day on the southern tier, have you ever been in this situation where you didn't have anywhere to stay, there's nowhere to camp? It's the 4th of July. I know you've probably been there, right? You get into town, maybe you weren't bicycling, but you got into a town, you were going camping. Hopefully you didn't have the family with you, but you know, you were alone. You got somewhere before you thought you were going to get there, or after, and it's just a bustling town, and there's nowhere to stay, no hotels, campgrounds full, you know, RV parks full. You know, for cyclists like me, RV parks, some of them are perfect because you can, you know, catch up on laundry and get your Wi-Fi and camp in a tent site, you know, and have power and stuff. That's very common. But anyway, somebody said, hey, I'm in this town, and what would you recommend doing? I know you've done this kind of thing. And I said, well, check out the local church if it's open. And a lot of times they're just open, you know, and there's somebody like there, you know, either lives there on site, the pastor or whatever. And I've done this before, and a lot of people have. I've never heard of anyone being turned down. Ask if you can camp. Like if you're cruising around with a good, you know, set of bags or whatever, you know, you don't have to be like, you know, expensive stuff, but as long as you have beer can bags hanging off your bike, and stuff like that, you might get turned away at that point, or maybe not. But, you know, it's all your presentation, you know, and, you know, approach with a smile and ask, hey, I'm tired, I need a place to sleep and get some water. And I've always had excellent luck. Now, the other one is fire station. Now, this is regional, you guys, because, as you know, if you're a cyclist or anyone, you know, some towns you just couldn't simply go up to the fire station because it's a dangerous neighborhood or whatever. But out in the Midwest and certain places, I mean, in the Sierras where I go, and the other thing for you cyclists that are doing like Sierra Cascade routes and stuff, and now you can stealth camp anywhere, but a lot of times if you're in a spot where, you know, it's like campground's full, everything's gnarly. I've stayed at and this happened because there was a fire. I stayed at a U.S. Forest Service facility. They said, hey, come on in, you know, and I camped in the back there. And then they like invited me in, and I had pizza with them and stuff, you know. That's the kind of stuff that happens. I'm going to slip this tip in right now. If you don't want to camp, stealth camp, or really chance it like that, warm showers before you get to a town. Warmshowers.com. That program, you can set it up ahead of time, work it out with somebody who's another cyclist usually. They offer their house, their home, their property. Usually it's their backyard. You can set up your tent. I've done it a few times. Try it out, look it up. If you get to a town and you're kind of stranded like that, you can still look it up, but sign up for warm showers now, and that way you'll be ready and prepared when something like that happens. When you put yourself out there, depending on, you know, where you're going, but places like that, a church, a fire station, and I'm going to tell you a story in a minute about, like South America. I even went to a police station and had other situations where I camped on military base and things like that. So wait till you hear those stories. Anyway, so I have a little list just in case. I don't like to miss stuff, you know. I'm getting old here. Anyway, church, fire station, police station is regional. It's hard in a town. And here's what I'm going to say is, yeah, you know, you didn't want to stealth camp. You can't in town, and you know, who knows where you are. I had to do this at a train station in Klamath Falls once, if you've been here a while. I had this, it was a cold night. Now there was other people waiting for the train, and the train station was closed, so there wasn't anyone to go, hey, you know, do you have a ticket? Then you're kind of screwed. If you get in late and you get to the train station and they're closed, right? But it's a safe place to hang out. The Amtrak station, believe it or not, you got the bike, you know, you look like you're traveling, you're going, and you're just waiting to get the ticket when they open, right? And you got your tarp. I always have this in case I need to bail into the woods and just roll myself up in this thing and get some sleep, hide the bike outside of town. I wouldn't do it in town, unless I just had the right situation, some small town. I want your tips and your ideas. If this has happened to you, you've been stranded like this, put it in the comments and I'll include it in one of my stories. Somewhere down in South America, probably. It's harder in the U.S. to do this kind of stuff than it is in other countries. But the thing about it, in other countries, you get invited into the house, the villages and stuff, and they feed you. It's not like that as much here. But fire stations, churches, and so I told those guys they had great luck. One of them just met somebody when he was at a bar, and they said, camp at my house, and that's another option. Go to the bar, or maybe not, but I don't recommend doing any of this. I'm giving you just signposts what you might go to, and then the other thing I'm going to finish up with here is you get to a town, you've hurt your knee, foot, or you get a phone call, you got to get home, you got to get out. You probably know this if you've done your planning ahead of time, but maybe not. I was caught in a situation where I needed to get out, and the bike, I couldn't fly with the bike, I couldn't take a bus with the bike or the train. So, and UPS, I was like, what? I got a hold of bikeflights.com, and you can get a box at a bike shop, and they will work it out online, and they will pick that bike up at the bike shop or wherever you want, where someone says, yeah, they can pick it up here, like as you know them maybe. Bike shops are great for this. And I've never had a problem with it. Bike shops, yeah, they can pick it up here. Your name's on it. Your name's on the box, address. There's a tag on there that you printed online. Boom, Bike Flights gets there, and you can pay to have it at certain times. But anyway, I think I paid about $200. That's a lot, right? Not really. All the way across the United States into some little podunk little town, Northern California, right to my porch, and that was great. Anyway, bikeflights.com. And then the other thing is while you're out there, you guys, I'm always going to be showing you the Roam Wi-Fi because I believe in this thing. I don't use my phone for Wi-Fi, a hotspot, anything. I use this Roam, and I can use my computer, my pad, my everything. I can use 4 things on there. I don't know about 5 or 6, but I've used 4, and you just buy the data online. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And we're getting ready to go into story time, and I'm getting ready to tell that right now, but that's bike stuff for the night. All right, thank you.